welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Factorio. I'm here with Rotype yet again, and we're going to continue our combat discussion. And now it's time for defense.
Yep. So we talked a little bit about last episode how we haven't aggroed the biters because we're not ready to defend ourselves. And probably step one of defending yourself, some people would say, is to kill all the biters, but I'm lazy and I don't want to do that. So I want to build walls. So a while ago, we set up this brick smelting column here. And it's been useful to build a couple other things. You'll notice it's not actually hooked into the bus, so we haven't really been using it that much. But, you know, you smelt some stone, and then you get brick. And my personal most use of brick, maybe aside from flooring, is to make walls. So you get a bunch of brick. Let's see, what is it? 5 brick, and you'll get a piece of wall. So we've been making wall for a little while here. You'll see I have a bunch of wall, and it's pretty basic. I mean, you grab some wall, you go, I mean, you don't have to go far away, but I'm going to actually put it where it's somewhere somewhat useful. Kind of drag it along, whoops, and you can make whatever design you want. Just kind of drag out, and here you go, got some wall. Talked a little bit about last episode, how often what you'll do is put a turret, which I don't have one on me right now, but I can make one. And here it is. So often you'll see, takes a little longer to build than I thought, but often you'll see walls kind of entirely surrounding someone's base if they go full turtle, as they say. And I tend to play kind of in turtle mode. You'll see a lot of my bases will just be fully walled off everywhere with turrets everywhere because, like I said before, I generally don't fight the biters that much, so I'll just kind of build up my walls and stick some turrets. The biters can do a surprising amount of damage to walls. You'll see here I hover over, they have 350 health, so I don't know how much health other things have. You know, a turret here I guess has 400, a pipe has 100, so they will stop the biters, but if they're coming, and they can certainly send large attacks your way, they will get through your walls pretty quickly. So you're strongly motivated to put a turret around them. But that's walls. They're pretty basic. Nothing too fancy going on there.
Now, one thing I noticed, just to interrupt you really quickly here, I noticed that I can't walk through the wall. So I built some gates. I have never really used them, so I'm assuming I make a hole in here. Do I just place a gate, more or less?
Yeah, so you can place them the wrong way. So you do have to, rotate them the right way. But as you can see, they don't have to be connected to a wall. You can just place them wherever you want. You can also place them just on top of the wall. So I don't have to mine this and then place it. I can just place it on top of the wall and it'll replace.
Oh,
and
okay.
Gates are handy because, I mean, they're gates. They'll detect when you're coming and they'll open. Another nice thing you can do with gates, I'll take some and go down here to this train track just down here. And let's pretend I have a station here. Whoop, I dodged the train. Don't want to get killed. So let's just say I have a station in here and I want to wall it off. Let's just say, okay, I want this and I want to protect whatever's in this bubble here. I ran out of wall, but so let's just say this is all walled off, and obviously there's a big opening here for the train. And if you saw when I was placing it, I dragged the wall across and it just stopped placing wall. Well, the nice thing they added maybe a year ago or so is I can put a gate right on the train track and you'll see it'll open for me. And let's see if we can get the train. I will command the train to come back through this way. And
it's already coming.
Oh, nope,
it's already coming.
Yep, it's on its way. So you'll see as it goes through, it'll open for the train. And let the train go through. So that's kind of handy for, again, if you're going full turtle and you want to wall everything off, but you still want your trains to function properly, you can place those gates right on top of the tracks. So that's kind of neat. I like doing that. And these will also open for if you have, I don't know where my car is, but if you're driving a car, you can make a big wide gate and it'll open for your car as you come up, things like that. So pretty handy. It is a little tricky to actually mine the gate off of the track. As you'll see, I just picked up the track instead, but. So what we're going to be up to probably in between episodes is just kind of walling off a lot of our base. That way, if we're busy explaining something and a biter attack decides to come, and we don't have to worry about it blowing up half the base while we're trying to explain a core concept of the game. So one other thing that I made, which is pretty cool, I have a flamethrower and ammo. Do you have a flamethrower and ammo?
I do.
So this is fun, and this is really cool. Let's go find some trees, because the best, aside from biters, I suppose, the best thing to light on fire is trees. Here we go. We got a nice forest down here. I'm not going to get hit by the train. Watch out for the train. There we go. So I'm going to tab over to the flamethrower. And the flamethrower, you don't have to push C, just like any other weaponry. Flamethrower, you just hit space, and it will shoot flames at wherever your mouse is pointed. Now, the nice thing about this, let's see if we can get it to catch, is you can start massive forest fires. And they're pretty cool, especially down here. The forest gets a little bit more dense. I'll just hold down and spray fire everywhere.
All right, I do have a quick question then. We have this coal line here. If I were to light this coal on fire, would it burn or no?
I don't believe the coal burns, although we can experiment.
All right, let me scoop some
drag
up.
some out here, and then cut it off and see what happens. I don't believe it. I think you will destroy the coal, as well as the transport belt it's sitting on, but I don't think the coal actually adds anything to the fire. Does not appear so. Looks like I'm just destroying transport belt.
Okay. I don't know. It was a curious question I have.
Yeah. So if you'll take a look over here, this forest fire I started has spread.
Oh yeah, that's.
See, I'm going to light it up here.
Now, if I walk into this, I'm assuming I take damage. Yep, that's a lot of damage.
Yes. You can kill yourself by walking into a forest fire. The funny thing is, there's really no way to stop a forest fire. I guess you can make fire breaks, the old-fashioned way of cutting down trees to prevent them from spreading. But once you light a forest fire, it'll damage nearby, buildings you've built. Oh, I'm out of fuel. It'll rage until it runs out of fuel. And as you'll see, it'll leave behind some of these charred trees, so it won't necessarily demolish all of the trees, which some people find a little disappointing because, again, similar to grenades, it's an easy way to kill a bunch of trees that are in your way. But the aesthetic's kind of nice, you left behind a bunch of charred tree remains. Pretty cool. I just have to check now to make sure, because if this fire touches a biter, then we're hosed. Oh, okay. Looks like we will hopefully be okay. Just talking about not being able to stop forest fires. Might have accidentally started one that will get us in trouble. There we go. Hopefully this fire break is enough.
Guess so.
We were talking last episode about how different types of ammunition and weaponry do well against different types of enemies. The biters, well, I suppose they do take decent damage from fire, but they tend to run through it instead of, standing in it. So you generally aren't too effective in fighting biters with fire, but it's really effective against their bases. So you see those little blobbing spawner things. You can light those on fire, and those will burn pretty quickly, especially if you see a bunch kind of in the middle of a forest. You just light the forest on fire and it'll kill the biters and their nests. Decently effective. Then you just come in with grenades and clean up the forest.
Now, out of curiosity, is this forest fire? I see a lot of smoke. Is that producing pollution?
Yes, I believe it is. You can go onto the mini map, and it doesn't look like it's currently producing much, at least compared to our base, which is producing a lot. But I believe the forest fires do produce pollution. Which, have we talked much about pollution and evolution of biters?
I don't think we've talked about biters much at all at this point.
Okay, so this might be a good time to go talk about them because I can get up close because they're not aggroed yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to come down here and take a close look at some of these biters down here. And our evolution factor is pretty low. So you only see a couple different types of biters here. Now, evolution basically controls what biters will spawn. And so these little, I mean, they're small biters. These little crawling ones are the small biters. Those are the ones that start off at the beginning of the game. You just get these small biters. These little like standing upright ones are mediums. Oh, these are medium spitters. I guess there aren't any small spitters. This guy's small spitter.
Yeah, there's some small ones.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a small spitter. So you don't start with any spitters at all. You just start with these little small biters, and they, as you can see, they only have 15 health, so they die really quickly. Even with a pistol, you can usually kill a few. And then as you pollute onto the biters, as you kill biters, and what is the other factor? As you kill their spawners, and I think there is even just a time factor, then this evolution factor increases. And the evolution factor, as I said, controls what kind of biters spawn. And so that's when you start getting the small spitters, I believe, are next, and then the medium spitters. It doesn't look like we have any right now here, but you'll eventually get medium biters and then large biters, and they even have behemoth biters is what they call them, which can take a lot of damage before they die. So sometimes if you're just kind of turtling up and polluting everywhere, no, can't actually get through. There's no land connection over there. So if you're just turtling up and not paying attention to what your pollution is doing and what your evolution factor looks like, you can sometimes end up with some pretty fearsome biters out there because they've just been polluted on, and maybe they've been attacking and your turrets have been killing them, so their evolution factor goes up, and you can end up with some pretty bad looking biters. I'm going to go see if I can find any worms, because that is the other enemy type that you can deal with. Let's see if there are any down here. Let's see. Looks like we have some. Oh, we even have some big spitters. Okay. So again, that's just a bigger one that does more damage, can take more damage. We still don't have any worms down here, though.
Okay, I see a medium
It's
biter.
kind of creepy. Yeah, so you'll see the medium biters are that red color. The big biters are a blue color. And if I remember correctly, the behemoth biters are like a green color, and they're really big. If you don't like bugs, this can be kind of creepy. Normally, you're not that up close with them because they attack you and you fight them back. But we also have this very spread out map gen setting, so it's like it'll be quite a walk. But that is pretty much the enemies you will be facing in the game. But as I said before, luckily we have some pretty nice tools to defend ourselves. The next thing I guess we should talk about is armor. So I, at some point in this save, made myself a suit of heavy armor. I saw that. Almost get killed by the train. So you probably, unless you made yourself some, don't have any armor right now. Down on the bottom right under your tool.
No, I don't. And I'm looking at the crafting menu right now. I see 3 different types.
That's right. So as you research things, you will learn, I guess, the ability to make armor. And as you'll see, the light armor, pretty basic, just takes iron plate. And the next one, the heavy armor, just takes copper plate and steel plate. And that's what I have now, because at some point I made myself some. The next thing, which I am going to make one because I have the ingredients for it, is modular armor. Now, all the armor basically works the same way. You get more resistance to all of those things. It says acid, explosion, fire, yada, yada, yada. And the modular armor is the first in a set of things that works a little bit differently. So I just equipped some modular armor, and you'll see if I hover over it in the bottom right, it says right mouse button to open, and it has all the list of stuff, inventory, size bonus, and grid size. So if I right click on it, you'll see that I have my regular inventory, and then this other box comes up and it says armor. And again, it has all the stats. And this extra, what looks like inventory spacing. And so this is where you can put modules. I mean, not really the modules we were talking about before, like speed modules, not those kind, but armor modules into your armor for different benefits. So let's see how many we have researched. It looks like we don't actually have any researched right now, but we are researching night vision equipment really slowly. I'm going to figure out why. No red science again, so that's a separate issue we'll have to work on. But basically, you can research different pieces of armor to put into your modular armor, and that grid, when you right click on it, is where they will go. So you have to play a little Tetris game to fit all of the different things that you want into your modular armor, and then you can get bonuses based on whatever those pieces are. And so those things, like I said, you can be night vision equipment. If you look at the research menu, we can look at some of these other things. You can add battery equipment, which basically just gives you a battery to carry around in your armor, portable solar panels to power your battery, and then some other interesting things here. Let's see if I can find it on the research menu. We have energy shield equipment, which just gives you a shield, which is pretty handy. If you load up your armor with shields, you can take quite a bit of damage from the biters. You've got things like personal laser defense, which is like a little laser turret you mount on your person. And let's see if I can find it here.
Ah, all right. You know what?
There it is.
The reason why we're not getting red science is because we're not making gear wheels.
Oh, really?
And the reason we're not making gear wheels is it looks like it got severed at some point. I'm assuming we got no iron coming in.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, I caught it. Oh, no. Yeah. No iron coming down this line.
Oh, I see what's happening. Yeah, so I, up here, tried to be fancy way up here and have split off things from the bus using this kind of complicated looking system. This basically just uses some logic conditions using the wires that, if you remember, we talked about several episodes ago with the train. I was using the same kind of wire system to force all of the iron that's coming in towards the top of the bus. That's basically what all of this whole chunk basically does. It says send everything to the top, and if the top is full, then let it down in the next one, and then the next one, etc. So it's basically a priority setup, which is not compatible with this split down here, which is trying to split off from the bottom. So as you can see, everything's shoved up to the top, and then I try to pull from the bottom, and there's nothing there to pull.
All right, well, I've got an easy fix for that, so there we go.
Yeah, so it's another one of those mid to late game transition things that we're halfway in between. Some things aren't quite compatible. Go ahead and clean up the rest of it with the robots. There we go.
All right,
I have a blueprint for this, so I can just place it down.
We at least got it jump started now. We're going to have our science start building up.
Good. So I don't remember what I was talking about. Something about modular armor, but basically you can add things to it, which can be really handy. And one of my favorite things you can add to it is actually a portable roboport. So you don't actually have to wait for the robots to come from your robo network. They'll just follow you around. They'll follow you around and live in your armor. And even when you go out to outposts way far away from your network, you can still carry robots around and have them build things for you. Which is,
okay. So you're like your own network.
Extremely handy.
More or less.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll use your inventory as if it was like a storage chest. And, if you don't have the thing, obviously they can't build it. But if you do, if you carry around all the things that you're trying to build, you don't actually have to do it. Like right now, if I had a portal roboport and robots, they would be coming in and out of my person to build this instead of flying from who knows what roboport and who knows what section of the base.
But they use your inventory, your pocket inventory then, right?
Yes. If you have the personal roboport, they use your pocket inventory.
Okay. It's still really cool.
Unfortunately, that is a little bit of a ways away, but it's pretty handy once we get it.
Well, it looks like we're at the end of yet another episode, so I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is Mouse Gunner and Rotype signing out.